In a first-of-its-kind implementation, Aspen Pharmacare Holdings Limited, the largest pharmaceutical company listed on the JSE, has selected the Oracle Tax Reporting Cloud solution to report tax timely and accurately in order to be compliant with the base erosion and profit-shifting country-by-country reporting. Brenda Engelbrecht, Aspen Group Tax Executive, and Alan Bosch, Aspen Holdings IT Manager, led the implementation.
Right, so possibly let me do the introduction of the Aspen Group to the audience. The Aspen Group is headquartered in South Africa. We're listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, and we have just over 108 subsidiaries in just over 70 countries across the globe. And because of the complexity of the number of countries in which we operate in, we did see a problem about meeting our tax reporting obligations under the BEPS action plan, where we needed to prepare 73 documents and the country-by-country report within a very short period of time of 6 months due to Latin American deadlines being misaligned to those of the rest of the world. So after starting a project looking at trying to implement the BEPS action plan in September 2 years ago, we spent a number of months trying to understand what information we needed, how we could get the information out of our ERP systems, and it took us a long time to get to that point. So after 6 months, we still hadn't gotten any information that we could actually use from our businesses. And I became very worried because I needed to get something out within 5 months, where it was taking us up to 6, 7, 8 months to actually get the information. So we started looking around, and Alan, you and I started having a number of conversations about what is possible. And we started really deep diving into finding an application to help us.
Yes, Brenda, I remember those first presentations that we saw where we had enlisted Accenture to do a piece of work for us on alternatives around that. And I still remember that list of all the applications and going through the pros and cons of that. But then once we had chosen our solution, it became very apparent that Accenture was the right team to assist us with this implementation, and it was a really large-scale exercise that we had to undertake, and we had very little time to actually do that. Just for the interest of the audience, we operate a number of disparate ERPs around the world. They've each got their own chart of accounts, so that obviously complicated the issue that we had to deal with.
And how we dealt with that is we decided to rather, instead of trying to put in place interfaces directly into our ERP systems, we came up with that unique idea of linking TRCS into our financial reporting system, and basically taking that chart of accounts that is in our ERP, our financial reporting system, and making it tax sensitive.
I think we went from about 26 interfaces down to 1 or 2.
That's great.
Which certainly made life a lot easier for us. I can remember when we started with Accenture 2 earlier this year, it was about January, when we had a bit of a crisis around the project management capability. And it then again became apparent that Accenture were best placed to help us with that role. We obviously gave them some guidance around what we required from an internal point of view, and they obliged with all of our reporting and our dashboard standards that we had. And then that certainly worked very smoothly from that point. I remember also looking, I think it was about in January, at the on-premise solution that Oracle offered, and that revealed significant challenges which we didn't know how we would overcome in a very short space of time. Thankfully, and to our great relief, Oracle, they put out a cloud-based offering from February this year, and we were able to have a look at that. But being a first adopter of a system globally with no reference sites, no history to to go on is a very daunting thing sometimes, especially when you're dealing with a tax implication like we were.
And also there was a lot of things that were promises still at that point in time. So
Exactly.
Country by country reporting functionality was not in the system.
Yes.
So it made the decision a lot more challenging for us. But I think we did make the right decision.
Well, it certainly wasn't without its very long conversations and very robust negotiations with Oracle. And as you remember, part of those negotiations gave us access to the Oracle development team, which really was a key driver of the success of this project. As you say, there were elements that we required from a reporting point of view that simply weren't in the solution. And having access to those developers allowed us the opportunity to tell them exactly what we wanted. They went and built it. We would test it together with Accenture, and it would be part of the solution, which we hope that other multinationals will also get that benefit from.
And maybe just to cut in there, Alan, but the other benefit with getting involved as an early adopter is we actually approached Oracle and asked Oracle to consider their roadmap and see how their roadmap would fit into our project implementation plan and our expectations of when we needed to release information. And Oracle were very good at making sure that where they could, they moved the critical things forward to support the Aspen business. And we then agreed to push certain things out with them that were less critical from an Aspen perspective, but things that would be excellent for me to have implemented for future management of taxes across the group.
Yes. Well, I think, Brenda, that just speaks to the intense collaboration that we had between Accenture, between Oracle, between Aspen. The teams worked very closely together. I can remember our project steerco, for want of a better word, which was a weekly meeting and lasted half an hour to an hour, very soon becoming a 3-hour operational working meeting where the Oracle developers alongside Aspen and Dan and ourselves would really get into the nuts and bolts of the solution and as to what was required by Aspen. So I think that partnership between those three parties really worked well. There was never a time when any party had to be called up on anything that they weren't doing. It was always a case of everyone, all hands on deck, and it is now bearing fruits. And as I've said to you before, I've never been part of such a large project that has run so smoothly. So for me, it was a real pleasure to work alongside Oracle and Accenture on this one.
And I think there are a couple of reasons why it ran smoothly. So one of the things that Accenture did mention in the various conversations that we had is the unique approach that we took. So the simplification of the chart of accounts, having the one set of chart of accounts, and also trying to build a standardization of the rules that we would apply to each of our companies' tax calculations. So we've now got a single place where we could actually manage the tax provisioning for our entire group, and that makes life a lot easier for us. Which is, as I say, I'm looking forward to seeing the fruits of that coming out as we go through the year and go through our first half year as having the solution implemented. Being able to benefit from the effort that's required being less than a day by comparison to the effort that took us both this year and last year, where we spent upward of 600 man days trying to generate what effectively was one single number on our income statement, and that was our tax number.
Yes.
So I see that we're going to see a lot of benefits going forward. The one thing that we also did do, because of course the TRCS system was almost a hybrid of the old on-premise tax governance and tax provisioning system, is we've taken the benefits of both of those systems, and we've actually managed to build a system that gives me a one-stop shop from a reporting perspective. So I've got the tax provisioning on the one hand, the meeting of the country-by-country reporting on the other hand, but then things that are important to me to make management decisions about how much money we're spending on our tax advisory costs. We've all got that information now coming into one place with an ability to extract reports now, as I say, on a more real-time basis and easier. Because we don't need to nag people in the business to give us information, because they don't really want to give tax information because they've got better things to do.
And I mean, all of that also without the headache of having to caretake servers and applications and everything in the background. You know, we can buy it as a service from Oracle, which really makes our life a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Well, I think the detail behind the solution we'll go into now with Dan. Dan will talk you through the architecture of the solution, and we are obviously sorry that we can't be with him in person, but we leave you in his capable hands. Thank you.
Thank you.